Good morning. We come to you today with a heavy heart, bringing news that has shaken a nation and cast a shadow over the skies of Brazil. Today, we bring heartbreaking news from Brazil, a land known for its vibrant culture and breathtaking landscapes, now grappling with an unimaginable tragedy. The incident has not only impacted the local community, but also resonated across the globe, reminding us of the fragility of life and the inherent risks associated with even the most carefully planned adventures, where a hot air balloon ride, a popular tourist attraction promising stunning aerial views in Praiagrande, Santa Catarina, a region renowned for its dramatic canyons and picturesque scenery, ended in disaster. The joyous anticipation of a scenic flight turned into a scene of devastation, leaving behind a trail of grief and unanswered questions. What began as a beautiful Saturday morning, with the promise of clear skies and gentle breezes for sightseeing, an opportunity for tourists and locals alike to marvel at the natural beauty from a unique vantage point, turned into tragedy. A stark reminder of how quickly fortunes can change and how vulnerable we are to unforeseen events. When a fire broke out mid-flight, the flames, fueled by the balloon's gas and fabric, quickly engulfed the aircraft, creating a terrifying spectacle in the sky. The balloon, operated by a local tourism company known for providing these experiences, caught fire in the air, sending plumes of smoke and debris spiraling downwards, leading to a catastrophic crash, impacting the ground with devastating force and leaving behind a scene of utter destruction. That has left the community in shock, struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the loss and the suddenness of the event. The incident occurred around 8 a.m., a time when many were just beginning their day, on June 21, 2025, a date that will forever be etched in the memories of those affected. A time when the sky is usually filled with colorful balloons, a symbol of celebration and freedom, now tainted by tragedy. For those on board, it was meant to be a peaceful adventure, a cherished memory in the making, a chance to see the world from above, to witness the beauty of nature from a breathtaking perspective. Instead, the serene morning was shattered, the tranquility replaced by chaos and fear, by flames and panic, as passengers and crew fought for their lives amidst the inferno. Witnessed by horrified onlookers below, their screams and gasps echoing across the landscape. The crash happened near a healthcare center, a place of healing and recovery just 2 kilometers from the launch site, a short distance in terms of geography, a cruel irony given how quickly the tragedy unfolded, transforming a scene of natural beauty into one of devastation. Videos of the burning balloon quickly spread, shared across social media platforms, capturing the terrifying final moments, a stark reminder of the power and immediacy of citizen journalism, and the sudden shift from joy to sorrow, a poignant illustration of the unpredictable nature of life. As we report this story, our thoughts are with the families, the friends, and the loved ones and all those affected, offering our deepest condolences during this incredibly difficult time. It is a somber day for Brazil and for travelers everywhere, a time for reflection and remembrance as we mourn the lives lost in this tragic accident. On board were 21 people, 20 passengers, and 1 pilot, each with their own story and dreams for the day. The large basket was designed for group tours over Praiagrande's famous canyons, a bucket list experience for many. Tragically, 8 people lost their lives, leaving 8 families in mourning. 13 survived, including the pilot, but many suffered serious injuries and trauma. The survivors are now being treated in local hospitals, their lives forever changed. Passengers came from different places, drawn together for this single tragic flight. Loved ones now face either profound loss or the long road to recovery. The community's focus is on caring for survivors and honoring those lost. Our thoughts remain with everyone touched by this tragedy. The flight began under perfect conditions, a picturesque scene unfolding as the balloon gently lifted off the ground. The air was still, the sun was shining, and excitement was palpable among the passengers, eager to experience the world from a unique vantage point. Clear skies, little wind, and high spirits filled the air. Laughter and chatter echoed from the basket as the landscape stretched out beneath them, a patchwork of fields and forests. The passengers, a mix of seasoned adventurers and first-time flyers, reveled in the tranquility and beauty of the ascent. But soon after takeoff, disaster struck, shattering the idyllic scene and plunging the passengers into a terrifying ordeal. What began as a dreamlike experience quickly turned into a nightmare, testing the limits of human resilience and courage. A fire erupted inside the passenger basket, an orange inferno consuming the space and threatening to engulf everything in its path. The sudden appearance of the flames sent shockwaves through the passengers, their initial joy replaced by sheer terror. The blaze is believed to have started, seemingly out of nowhere, catching everyone off guard and escalating with alarming speed. The smell of burning material filled the air, adding to the growing sense of panic and dread. Near the burner system, the heart of the balloon's propulsion, where the intense heat necessary for flight is generated. This critical piece of equipment, usually a source of controlled power, had become a raging threat. A critical but risky component of any balloon, the burner system requires careful maintenance and operation to prevent accidents. Its proximity to the flammable materials of the basket made it a potential hazard, now tragically realized. Investigators suspect a technical failure or malfunction within the burner system, a deviation from the norm that triggered this terrifying chain of events. Every component will be scrutinized, every connection examined in the search for answers. The pilot, faced with a rapidly growing fire, had to make split-second decisions under immense pressure, his training and experience put to the ultimate test. The lives of everyone on board rested on his shoulders. Tried to bring the balloon down as quickly as possible, initiating an emergency descent to escape the escalating danger. The ground rushed towards them, a stark reminder of the perilous situation they were in. He gave urgent instructions to passengers, his voice cutting through the rising panic, a beacon of authority in the chaos. Clear and concise commands were essential to ensure the safety of everyone on board, telling them to prepare to jump when close to the ground, a desperate measure to avoid being trapped in the burning basket. The impact of the jump, though risky, seemed a better alternative than facing the flames. Panic and chaos filled the basket, a whirlwind of fear and desperation as passengers struggled to comprehend the unfolding disaster. Screams and cries mingled with the roar of the fire, creating a cacophony of terror. As the fire threatened everyone on board, its relentless advance pushing them to the brink of despair. The intense heat seared their skin, the smoke choked their lungs, and the fear of the unknown paralyzed their minds. The flames not only endangered the passengers, posing an immediate threat to their lives and well-being, but also compromised the balloon's structure, weakening the envelope and jeopardizing its ability to stay aloft. The integrity of the entire aircraft was at risk, adding another layer of complexity to the already dire situation. The pilot's desperate efforts became a race against time, a frantic struggle to bring the balloon down safely before it was too late. Every second counted, every decision mattered, in this desperate fight for survival. The decisions made in those frantic moments, under the most extreme duress, would determine the outcome of this harrowing event. Each choice carried immense weight, each action had potentially life-altering consequences, determined who would survive, separating those who would live to tell the tale from those who would become victims of this aerial tragedy. The line between life and death was razor-thin. It was a fight for survival in the sky, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even in the face of unimaginable adversity. The passengers and pilot were locked in a battle against the elements, against the fire, and against the odds. As the balloon descended, the pilot, with incredible skill and a sense of urgency, managed to get the craft low enough. He knew that time was running out, and every second mattered. The heat from the flames was becoming unbearable, and the risk of explosion was ever present. It was a now-or-never moment for people to attempt a desperate escape. The ground rushed up to meet them, a daunting prospect, but far better than the inferno raging above. 13 people, including the pilot, made the courageous decision and jumped from the basket, hoping for the best possible outcome in a dire situation. Each leap was a gamble, a prayer for survival against overwhelming odds. They landed with a thud, sustaining various injuries from the impact, but ultimately saving their lives from the immediate threat of the fire. Broken bones and sprains were a small price to pay for escaping the burning balloon. Their sudden exit, a collective act of self-preservation, caused the balloon to become significantly lighter, altering its trajectory and ascent. The weight reduction was immediate and dramatic. With the reduced weight, The burning balloon began to shoot back up into the sky, rising rapidly, still engulfed in flames, a terrifying spectacle against the clear blue. The fire intensified, fueled by the escaping gas. The 8 remaining passengers were trapped in the inferno with no way out and facing unimaginable horror. Their screams were lost in the roar of the flames and the rush of the wind. The balloon, now a fiery projectile, rose uncontrollably, carried by the hot air and the force of the flames, a symbol of impending doom. Its ascent was erratic and unpredictable. Tragically, some fell from the basket at a much greater height, their fates sealed by the unforgiving laws of physics. Their fall was a desperate attempt to escape the flames, but it only led to another form of tragedy. While others, unable to escape the inferno, perished in the fire, their lives extinguished in a blaze of unimaginable suffering. The intense heat and smoke made survival impossible. The balloon, now a charred and twisted wreck, eventually crashed near a health clinic, narrowly missing the building but scattering debris across the surrounding area. The impact was deafening. The crash marked the end of the tragic flight, leaving behind a scene of devastation and despair. The wreckage was a grim reminder of the lives lost and the dreams shattered. Authorities arriving at the scene were met with a scene of utter devastation, a landscape scarred by fire and wreckage. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and the weight of sorrow. The investigation revealed that 4 victims died from severe burns, their bodies tragically consumed by the flames. Their suffering was unimaginable, and 4 others succumbed to the injuries sustained from the fall, their bodies broken by the impact with the ground. Their desperate escape had ended in tragedy. The sequence of events that unfolded was both chaotic and heartbreaking, a series of desperate actions and tragic consequences. It was a chain reaction of disaster. For the survivors, their escape was a split-second decision, a desperate gamble between life and certain death. It was a moment of pure instinct and courage, but for those left behind, trapped in the burning basket, the situation quickly became hopeless, a terrifying realization of their impending fate. There was no escape, no rescue. The crash marked the end of a nightmare that began as a dream. A joyous adventure turned into a horrific tragedy. The memory of that day will forever haunt those who survived. Now, the community is left to grapple with the aftermath, mourning the loss of loved ones and struggling to understand the senseless tragedy that has befallen them. The healing process will be long and difficult. The 13 survivors now face a long recovery, both physically and emotionally. Their escape was an act of desperation, resulting in injuries and deep trauma. Emergency services responded quickly, providing medical care and support. The survivors' testimonies are crucial for the ongoing investigation. Meanwhile, 8 families are mourning loved ones lost in the tragedy. The process of identification and grieving is underway, with the community offering support. This accident has deeply wounded Praiagrande and its tourism community. As survivors heal, the town mourns and remembers those who were lost. Our deepest condolences go out to all affected. In the wake of the tragedy, Brazil's leaders expressed sorrow and pledged support. President Lula da Silva and Governor Jorginho Melo offered condolences and promised resources for victims and families. Their statements reassured the public and signaled a commitment to a thorough investigation. The tragedy has also raised urgent questions about adventure tourism safety. Coming just days after another balloon accident, calls for stricter regulations are growing. The nation mourns together, demanding answers and change. Praiagrande, known as the Brazilian Cappadocia, is famous for its stunning canyons and hot air balloon rides. The region draws thousands of tourists each year, with ballooning as its main attraction. The company involved, Sobrevoar, had a strong safety record, making this disaster even more shocking. The accident is a blow not only to families, but also to the town's economy and identity. All balloon flights are now suspended, and the future of tourism here is uncertain. The dream of a thriving tourist destination is now overshadowed by tragedy. The community must now focus on healing and rebuilding trust. With rescue efforts complete, the investigation is underway. Aviation experts are examining the wreckage, reviewing videos, and interviewing survivors. Early theories point to a technical failure in the burner system. Sobrevoar has suspended operations and is cooperating fully. The findings will shape future safety regulations for ballooning in Brazil. Authorities aim to conclude the investigation within 30 days. Understanding what happened is crucial for justice and for restoring public confidence. Praiagrande is united in grief, holding vigils and supporting those affected. The immediate priority is care for survivors and families, with ongoing medical and emotional support. The tragedy will prompt a review of safety standards for balloon operators nationwide. Stricter inspections and improved protocols are expected. The town faces a long journey to heal and rebuild its reputation as the Brazilian Cappadocia. For now, the focus is on honoring the victims and supporting the survivors. Our thoughts remain with the entire community as they navigate this difficult path.